Hello and welcome to Morning Moments. It is a special guest Morning Moments for you all today, and I always like our special guest. Today I have Robert Vaughn, known as Bobby Vaughn, from the group, a gospel group here, the Mercy. Let me see right here. There we go. Mercy Road Quartet. I lost my page there. They're from Lebanon, Tennessee, and he goes by Bobby. And I asked Robert to come join us today and tell us about how he got started in music, how COVID-19 has affected their gospel music, as well as telling us about their new project. So welcome aboard, Bobby.
Good morning, Brother Andy. So nice of you to invite us to be here today. I really didn't know why anybody would want to talk to me, but here I am, and everybody knows I can talk. It's so good to be here. I appreciate this. Just give you a short background. I started singing in church as a young man, a teenager. Back then, I actually sang with the sopranos. I had one of those high-pitched voices. I could have sang with the Vienna Boys Choir back then. And my dad was very encouraging and asked me to sing a special at church one day. One of his favorite songs was I'd Rather Have Jesus. And I did that. And then, well, here's something I'll share with you. Probably about 15 years old, we had a youth revival at our church. And they asked if I would lead singing. And I said, okay, sure. I don't know anything about leading singing. I just sing, you know. So I'm up there, and the preacher brings the message. One of our young people brought the message, and we're going to do an hymn of invitation. So I step up to the podium. I said, everyone turn in their hymnal to page 345. Our accompanist starts playing the piano. I start singing. I'm looking out over the audience, and I'm seeing confused look on everyone's face. And I couldn't figure out what it was. Someone called to my attention that I was singing the words on page 344. But I was making it work. I was singing the wrong song to the right music. So just to be honest with you, I can still do that. Sometimes I forget the words when we're singing, and I actually rewrite songs on the fly. So that's me.
Yep.
And you know, and it just progressed from there. I always loved music, had a love for music. As a young man, my mother and dad decided to change churches, and they went to one church in town. And since I was actually driving at the time, had a car, I went to a different church because they had a youth choir. So I sang in that youth choir for several years. And I just always had a love for music. You know, that's just me. I'm a singer. Or as we say around here, I'm a singer.
So with Mercy Road Quartet, they've been in existence for a little while now, and I'm sure you've sung in a lot of groups before then. But tell us a little bit about Mercy Road Quartet, what you're doing now, and new projects, and who's in the group now.
Andy, we actually got together, I think it was around 2003. It was in the early 2000s. At the time, I was not singing with anyone, and I knew some talented young men that also were not singing with anyone. We'd never sung together. So I made 3 phone calls, and I got Mike Wigington to come as our bass singer. I got Danny Duke to come as our lead singer, and I got Sam Reed to come to sing baritone with us. And we had our first practice, and we kind of liked what we heard. We started talking about, well, okay, if we're going to sing, what's the name? Danny came up with the name Mercy Road. Evidently it was meant to be, because I went home that night and I wrote a song called Mercy Road. And we sang it and recorded on our first project. So we were the original founding members. I stayed with the group about 4 years, I think, and then I left. And they continued on. And I came back with the group about 4 years ago, myself and our current baritone singer, Noel Walters. And it was Noel, myself, Mike, and Danny. Danny passed from us in February of last year, unexpectedly. And we knew that he would not want us to stop. because it was Danny's first love. He loved it as much, if not more, than I did. So we started looking for a new lead singer, and we picked up a young man from over at Mercersburg. His name was Nathan Weathersby. And it's kind of funny because he had tried to start a group before when Noel and I weren't singing, and actually had fired Noel and myself and wouldn't sing with us. But then now we've hired him. So God works in mysterious ways. He's doing a great job. We're out there singing. Well, two of us are retired. Two of the guys are still working. They're still young. One of them's in his early 60s and one's 40. Nathan's in just 40. I got socks older than he is. But we sing as much as we can, as long as we can get back for work Monday morning. Part-time group, that's what you do. We enjoy it. We love it. A lot of times we don't know what is going on when we sing, but I regard it as planting seed. We go and sing, we spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, and then we let him take it from there. Let the local church take it from there. They'll water it, weed it, feed it, and hopefully harvest it.
It's amazing that you said that, because we have no idea the piece that we play in the steps for somebody coming to the Lord. And it could be just a song, a phrase, a scripture, a word of encouragement, a CD that they play, or just a little piece of the puzzle. And later down the road, we'll discover sometimes the different pieces that we have to different things. I know when my wife and I was involved in children's ministry, we had people come up to us afterwards years later and said, we came to your kids crusade, and now our whole family, I have a family now, and they come to the Lord. And you were telling stories about those experiences too, where somebody had said that we went to a concert and my heart was touched with your words.
Yes. The young man that took my place after I left the group, we were good friends, and he called me before he came with the group. He says, they called me about singing tenor with the group. He said, would you mind? Would it affect our friendship? I said, not at all. I want to continue on. I think you'd be a great fit. He shared with me probably about 5 years after that they had gone and sang at a church in Nashville. And after the service, the young man came up to him. He says, I remember when your group was here about 6 years ago, which was when I was singing with the group. He says, I had plans to go home that night and end my life. I was depressed. Things were not good. He says, I just give up on God. He says, one of your songs ministered to me. I went home. I fell on my knees. He says, and here I am tonight. And I shared with Gene when he told me that, I said, man, that is so wonderful. I said, because so many times we don't know the effect we have on people. And to know that someone was touched by the music that we put forth, or the witness that we put forth, and being obedient to God's will and sharing the gospel, that's what it's all about. It's not about fame. It's not about money. I don't know any rich gospel singers. They're kind of like preachers. We do it because we're called. Yeah. And sometimes we don't know the results, but when we find out one, it sure means a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, you folks got a new project that you haven't had a chance to release it properly. And there's a way they could get your new project through Facebook. And I'm putting your Facebook page on the comment section down below. Please look that up. And they can get a hold of you to get that CD, that new project they have. Is that correct?
Yes, Andy. This project's been 2 years in the making. We were supposed to record this a year ago. And some of the guys got sick. We couldn't get in the studio. And then right after that, Danny passed. And so Nathan came in and learned the new material. And we got into the studio about 3 or 4 months ago. Just got the CD back. I think I've had it about a month and a half. But, of course, our singings have dried up because of the COVID stuff. We had a few singings left at the end of the year. But probably this year we've lost 15 to 20 singings because of the COVID. And that I understand that. Being an elder person myself, I understand people's apprehension about being this. But we have the CD. We were going to have a CD release party, and we're still planning on having one just as soon as we can with some other groups that we know that have cut a new CD. And we're going to just get together and have a big old singing. And but until that time, if anyone's interested, go to our Facebook page, message me, and I'll send you one. It's no problem. I guess I can tell they're $15. Plus, we have other CDs, but this is our latest CD, all new music that we've never recorded before. And it's available out there. And, you know, they make great Christmas presents because they're thin. And if you don't like them, you can set them on your desk and use them for coffee coasters.
There you go. All right. They make good coasters as well. And you could mini Frisbees. There's a lot of things you could do with them. That's absolutely.
Yeah. What is it they call it? Skeet.
Skeet. That's it. That's right. That's right. Great.
They make great gifts. We've had several people over the years tell us this, I need a new CD. I've played yours till I'm worn it out. And that really gives you a good feeling in your heart. And we've had people say, well, I want one of these. I want to give to my mother or something like that. And, you know, if you want one, get in touch with me and we'll do everything in our way to get one in your hands.
All right. Very good. And that's what, you know, that's what's great about gospel music and Christian music. There are so many different types of music for everybody, and find what touches your heart, find what ministers to you. And it's great that you're still out there producing albums and music even in this time. Bobby, I want to thank you for being my guest today and sharing with me.
Andy, I appreciate you calling. And like I said, I was apprehensive about this at first, but of course I had seen your broadcast before. And how can anybody say no to Santa Claus?
That's right. That's right. That's right. Hey, and I want to thank each and every one of you out there that's turned on Morning Moments this morning with my special guest, Robert Bobby Vaughn. And I'm going to put this on YouTube as well. And if you like this, share it on your site, share the YouTube video, and keep coming back for some more Morning Moments with Andy. And thank you all for joining me today.